very much for taking the time to do this interview.
Not at all, Aaron.
Do you mind if we use the camera to record?
I suppose so.
So I'm Aaron. I'm a first year BNID student, and for the purpose of the assessment, I have to interview someone that was admitted into a healthcare setting to see how the nurse and the doctors and stuff had communicated with them and feel like did they communicating correctly with them, and did you make you feel comfortable while you're in hospital for your procedure. So do you mind introducing yourself?
I'm Joan Hyland, 5016 St Avenue.
Yeah, that's great, thanks. So I know we talked previously about when you were in hospital and you got your knees done. Could you tell me just a little bit about that experience from your perspective?
I was in hospital.
Yeah.
A bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Getting the knee, my knee was very, very bad, and it was a bit nerve-wracking. Doctors, nurses were very good, very helpful. They talked it through me. Well, they talked through what they were going to do that morning.
Yeah.
And it took about half an hour or so, I think, or an hour or whatever.
Okay, and when you were before you had gone into the hospital, you'd obviously had gone for consultations and stuff.
Ah, yes. I had to have that all done beforehand.
Before you went in.
And even that morning they spoke to me.
Did you feel that before you'd gone in that you knew everything that was happening from the time you'd walked into the hospital until recovery?
I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah, but did you feel like they had communicated with you, like told you
yes.
like what's going to happen, what to expect, and how you'll be after the surgery?
Yes.
That's good. And during your recovery then, before you had gone into the operation room, when you were being brought down, how did you feel at that time? Were they explaining things to you in the sense, not for when you were like knocking you under anaesthesia?
Yeah, I got an epidural.
Yeah.
I was a nervous wreck as usual, but I got through it. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Because you've earphones on, so you just hear a noise in the background.
Yeah, and did they explain everything what they were doing before they had done it? And
yes,
stuff?
everything.
So there was nothing that
and they kept talking to me through it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and was there anything that you were unsure about before you had gone under the anaesthesia?
I was a bit nervous. Yeah.
But was there anything that you didn't know fully? That they didn't explain to you properly?
No, they explained because it was the first time I ever had an operation.
Yeah.
Since I was young.
Yeah.
Tonsils out, that was about all.
Okay.
But I was nervous.
That's good. And then after the operation, then how did you feel the nurses and the doctors were when they were communicating with you in terms of like your medication that need to be taken and then your recovery phase and stuff?
Yeah.
Did you feel like how did you feel like they communicated to you?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. And then afterwards then, when you had being discharged from hospital, obviously you had then your recovery was still ongoing, you had physio and stuff.
I had to go back up and have physio.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And when you were, was that a home visit or was that up in the hospital?
I went up to the hospital.
Okay.
And you had it done in the hospital before you left. That time they kept you in for a good few days.
Yeah.
And I, when I came home then I had to go up, I think it was 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
Now I was still in pain.
Yeah.
And then I started walking out and it helped a lot. But they were I have to say, they were very good.
Yeah, and did they like tell you what to do and did they explain stuff to you and stuff and the different equipment that you needed to use?
I had to use 2 sticks and then eventually, we say after a few weeks, you just use 1.
Okay.
And then after 6 weeks, I didn't use sticks. Okay.
And have you, since your full recovery, have you ever had any issues that you had to go back to the hospital with your knees over?
No, I never had that's over 15 years ago. I've had 2 done.
Okay.
And not together, of course.
Yeah.
But over the year, 2 years ago or last year, I was back for a checkup.
Okay.
X-ray, they said they were okay.
Yeah.
Seemingly only last 15 years.
Okay, so
right. I don't hear all that, do you?
Yeah, that's grand.
Yeah. And they said it was grand.
That's good. So then your overall experience, apart from like the operation and the recovery and stuff, in terms of how they made you feel welcoming and stuff, was there any positives or any negatives that you'd like to point out?
No, do I have to say?
Yeah.
The first time I went in, they were very, very good.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, that's kind of all my questions.
Yeah.
Just want to say thanks very much
That's all
for
right.
taking the interview.
I was afraid I'd laugh.
I was nervous.